Hello, Algebra 1. If you still need to finish the test from the other day, please come in and see me so we can get that in the grade book. Come in during one of your off periods. It doesn't matter if I have class. You're welcome to come in when I have class and work on it as well. So we are going to be moving to, this is page 87 in your book. Notice we have two inequalities, and we have the word "and" in between them. So let's put a number line. So we have 0 here, 2 about here, and say 5 about here. Do you feel comfortable where those are on a number line? They're not exact, but they're pretty close. So I'm going to have an open dot on 2, and I want to go this way because greater than. And then I have an open dot on the 5, and I'm going to go this way. What I want to look for is where these overlap each other. So this region in between these two is our solution. So if we wanted to put this in interval notation, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 and 5, and being we don't have an equal sign, it's both soft brackets. This is not a point. This is interval notation saying that my shaded region goes between 2 and 5, but I don't include the endpoints of 2 and 5. Let's do the same thing for the next problem. So if I have -2 here, 0 is about here, and then 4 is about over here, let's go ahead and do this. Now realize this has the word or. Or is a little bit different than and. Or means this or that. And means both things have to happen, so I want overlap. So and has to have overlap, or can have overlap, but it doesn't have to. So I'm going to have an open circle at -2, and that's going to go this way to -infinity. And then I'm going to have an open circle at 4, and it's going to go this way to infinity. If I want to write this, because it says or, we're going to have two parts to our interval notation. It goes from -infinity to -2, and it's going to be a parenthesis, and then it's going to go from 4 to infinity. Okay? This is a little bit different thought process. Or means something. If this was the word and, it doesn't exist. And so let's take a look at further questions. So if I have a 0 here, let's say I have a 6 here, and I have a 12 here. Let's go ahead and graph this. So I'm going to have an open dot at the 6, and it's going to go this way. And remember, it has the word and, so I'm looking for overlap. And then I'm going to have a solid dot on the 12, and that's going to go this way. So do you see where they overlap each other, right in between? So if I wanted to write this answer in interval notation, it goes from 6 to 12. The 6 was an open circle, so we're going to put a parenthesis. The 12 is a solid circle, so we're going to put a hard bracket or a square bracket. Okay, we have or. So we might we don't need to have overlap, but we can. So I'm going to go 0 here, I have 2 here, and 7 down here. All right, this is an or problem. That's a different word than and. So I'm going to have a solid dot at the 2, and I want it going this way. And then I'm going to have an open dot on the 7 going this way. This is an or problem. I'm not worried about overlap. Overlap can exist, but because it's the word or, this is going to go from -infinity to +infinity. Number 5, let's write, I have a -4 here, I have a 0 here. This is the word and. Remember, I'm looking for overlap. All right, so I have an open dot at 4. It's going this way to -infinity. This is an open dot on 0 going this way to infinity. Okay, is there any overlap? Do these lines overlap each other? The answer is no. I have to have overlap for and. They have to cross over for and. So this is actually no solution because I don't have overlap. If that was the word or in there, that's different. We are not looking for overlap. We can have overlap with or, we don't have to. And has to have overlap. If it doesn't, there's no solution. Okay. All right, so we're going to use A and B as numbers. They're variables. So if I have an open dot going this way, and I have an open dot going this way, my solution to this is going to be from A to B, where A and B represent two numbers. It's going to be parentheses on each because they're both open dots. Let's try this next one. Again, I have A here, I have B here. Okay, this is the word or. So I have an open dot going this way, and I have an open dot going this way. Or doesn't need overlap. It has overlap, it has everything. So my solution here, because it's or, is negative to positive infinity. Now let's have A here and B here. We have the word and, we want overlap. So this is going to go this way, and this is going to go this way. There's no overlap. I need overlap. So this is empty set, or no solution. And then let's take a look at this one. If I have A here and I have B here, I have an open dot at A, it's going this way. This is an or problem. I don't need overlap. This is an open dot on B going this way. This is going to infinity. This is going to negative infinity. Now I'm going to have two solutions, a negative infinity to A, soft bracket or parenthesis, soft bracket or parenthesis for B to infinity. So you need two parts of that. And the reason that takes place is it's an or. Let's go to page 88. So now I have two problems in here. I have the word or, so I don't have to worry about overlap. So let's solve this. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. The 4's cancel out. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Those reduce. X is less than 8. Okay, so we're going to hold on to this for a moment. Let's go ahead and solve this one. We're going to distribute. Remember, that's like multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 times 2x. That's going to give me 6x. 3 times 6 is 18, which is greater than 78. We want to go ahead and solve this. So I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. Those cancel, so 6x is greater than 60. Divide both sides by 6, so x is greater than 10. Now we're going to go ahead and graph these. Remember the word or, so we don't have to worry about overlap. So if I had 0 here, I had 8 here, and I had 10 here, we have solid dot at the 8, shading left, that's going to negative infinity. And then I have an open dot at the 10, shading right. Okay, so and that's going to infinity. We need two answers. So this is negative infinity to 8. It's a square bracket because it's a solid dot. And then I'm going to go from 10 to infinity. That's my answer. Let's try number 7, last one. Number 7, okay, remember I want to distribute -2 both here and here. So the 10 is left alone for right now. -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 3 is -6. It's greater than 16. These are like terms, so I want to go ahead and combine them together. And then go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. They cancel on the left side. And that's going to give me 16 minus 4 is 12. Divide both sides by -2. What happens if I divide by a negative? The sign flips over. So x is less than -6. Then try this one. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Those cancel. Divide both sides by 3. So x is greater than 7. So we're ready to go ahead and graph these. So I have -6 down here. I have 0, and I have 7. Okay, this has the word or. This is going to mean something. So I'm going to go this way. And on this one, open dot going this way. So that goes to infinity. That goes to negative infinity. Because it's the word or, I don't need overlap. If this was an and problem, it's no solution because there's not overlap, but it's or. So this is negative infinity to -6. Parenthesis at -6 because it's an open dot. And then a 7, that's a parenthesis because it's an open dot, to infinity. And that's my answer. Okay. In a few minutes, I am going to give you a piece of paper that is to nominate your favorite teacher, and fill out for your favorite teacher. Any teacher at this school that is your favorite teacher, you pick, and just write down about it. If you need to write it in Spanish, that is totally okay. Use your phones to get your phones out so you can translate it, so you can get the language correct. And once you're done with that, give it to, we're going to have somebody take it down, so I'll just collect them. And again, you don't have to nominate me as your favorite teacher. You can nominate any of your teachers. But I'd like you to work on page 89, 1 through 20, all. Okay? Have a nice day, everybody.